Good morning, and I guess this is the press conference for December 20th. It should be our last press conference of 2021, our last one here before the holidays. Certainly wishing everyone out there Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and a happy holiday season. We'll start by talking about a couple things last week. I had the chance to go out with Chief Craner on Friday and visit all our fire stations. Certainly, there are many different things you're thinking about. Hopefully you think, remember on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, that there are a ton of people sitting out in each fire station that we have working to take care of all of us and make sure that all of us are safe this holiday season. Certainly the fire, but also the police, and very much appreciate what both of those do. I think I'm supposed to get out with Chief Randall and go visit the police soon. But I did have a chance to see Chief Craner. We did have the new opening. It's about to finally, the simulator that's been working for a while. In fact, Chief Craner, what was her job was getting that simulator. She told me she wrote the paperwork back in 2017. And so, again, it is now up, running. They didn't have the flames going yet, so I'm going to have to go out there again sometime with her and test it out. Looking forward to doing that. But I think that's a great asset for our community and making sure that our firefighters are best trained, equipped, and everything else to take care of us. So we do appreciate it. And like I said, I was out seeing them last week, and certainly I hope you'll think about them and the police. They'll be out there taking care of you this holiday season while we're all home, staying warm and having fun with our families. So there are a couple other things here. Obviously, the big thing that the fire station has is we continue to keep the Wreath Green campaign through December 31st. So at this particular time, the annual Keep the Wreath Green campaign is still happening through the end of December, which encourages citizens to practice fire safety during the holiday season. The campaign kicked off on December 1 in its collaboration with Pensacola Fire and Escambia County Fire Rescue. Each time firefighters respond to a residential fire with damage, a green bulb will be replaced with a red one to remind citizens of the dangers posed by fires in residential homes. This is what Casey wasn't sure she wanted me to say, but so far the city has not had to place any red bulbs on its wreath this year. So keep practicing good fire safety and keep us green. For fire safety tips, please visit Pensacola Fire Department Facebook page. This is also a reminder that starting this past weekend, going through the 26th, all fees for city-owned street parking, just on the street parking, this is the blue street parking in downtown Pensacola, will be waived from December 19th through the 26th during a parking amnesty week, allowing downtown visitors to shop, dine, and enjoy the holiday lights and attractions without paying for parking. The free parking applies only to on-street parking identified by the blue teal Park Pensacola signs. The free parking excludes parking lots, garages, and privately managed parking spaces. For a map of city-owned parking, please visit cityofpensacola.com. Also, this is to announce in the upcoming year, there will be a Ranger Pelican unveiling for the Gulf Islands National Seashore's 50th anniversary in January 7th. In celebration of Gulf Islands National Seashore turning 50, the City of Pensacola would like to invite the community to celebrate the unveiling ceremony of a new Ranger Pelican at 2 p.m. on Friday, January 7th. The Pelican unveiling will take place at the downtown Pensacola Ferry Landing at 750 Commandencia Street. So the Ranger Pelican was made possible through partnership between the City of Pensacola, Gulf Islands National Seashore, Pensacola Bay Cruises, and the Port of Pensacola. So we're very excited about this. Certainly to put another sort of public art out in our community is always good, and our Pelicans, but certainly to recognize the 50th anniversary of the National Seashore. And that is a tremendous asset that we all get to enjoy. It's great to have, and we love Gulf Islands National Seashore. So very proud of the opportunity to recognize that in 50 years of being a part of this community. The City of Pensacola will be closed over the next couple of weeks. We'll have several closures. The following City of Pensacola offices and facilities will be closed Friday, December 24th, Monday, December 27th, and Friday, December 31st, in observance of Christmas and New Year's holidays. The City Hall, City of Pensacola Administrative Offices, City of Pensacola Community Resource Centers. The exceptions: Osceola Golf Course will be closed Saturday, December 25th, but will be open all the other days. Roger Scott Tennis Center will be closed Saturday, December 25th, and Saturday, January 1st, but all the others will be open. And Bayview Outdoor Pursuit Center will be closed Friday, December 24th through Saturday, January 1st. So those are some of the dates. If you have things that you're thinking about doing, please check with us first. Again, remember that Osceola will be closed on Christmas, but not New Year's. Roger Scott, Christmas and New Year's, and the Bayview Outdoor Facility will be closed Christmas Eve through New Year's. So again, just some of the things that are going on. City of Pensacola sanitation customers will not experiencing any change to the schedule this year for garbage and recycling and yard waste pickups due to the holidays. So again, just let you know that your sanitation services will not be changed. And then finally, according to the Florida Department of Health, for the week of December 10th through the 16th, Escambia County has a positivity rate of 4.6. It's just up a little bit from 4.3, but still under 5%, which is certainly something we watch. We continue to stay in touch with the hospitals. While we've seen some cases increase, we have not really seen that materialize into increases in hospitalizations. So we continue to watch that as we go through. But at this point, we're not seeing anything that is showing us that we're going to have a significant impact going up. We continue to monitor everything. Obviously, we know the challenges both with Delta, Omicron, and all the other variants of COVID-19 that are out there. So we will continue to watch, and we'll continue to maintain contact with our health service providers, and we'll be in touch with you if we see any changes. But thank you for that. And then just a reminder, there will be no press conference next Monday. We'll be closed. So hopefully everybody can have a Merry Christmas and like I said, Happy New Year and Happy Holidays. And we'll look forward to seeing you in the new year. I did want to talk, but I'll answer questions, and I did want to follow up with something that I thought from last week. But I'm here to answer any questions. So I know we've got a little bit of a sparse press corps today, but happy to. That's it. John and Andrew are here, so again, we will. If y'all have any questions, we'll be happy to take them. John, you're grabbing the microphone.
Good morning, Mayor. Mayor, we won't have a chance to talk to you before the New Year's, so could we take a quick look back at 2021, and let me ask you, on behalf of the audience here, what are the three things that you think are positive, good news, great achievements for the city in 2021, and three things maybe you'd like to have a do-over over?
I think there are some things that 2021 I think we've done very well on. Obviously, some of them are enterprise zones that we've already talked about. I think the airport, what it continues to experience coming out of COVID, is tremendous. I think the port is also a tremendous story about things that are happening coming out. I think one of the other big things in 2021 that's kind of interesting, because we don't talk about it anymore, but it was a big conversation in 2020, and I think just goes to a huge credit to them and what we sort of went through and the process that we went, is the police. I look at now this past year, the rate at which we had people being apprehended for crimes that were committed, especially serious crimes, shows that the police have made tremendous inroads after a very difficult 2020 into finding a way to have a better relationship with neighborhoods. There are many things we did in laying the groundwork in 2020 and 2021, and some of the other things that we've done, new administration, a variety of other things. But, we have incredible people that are working for our police department. And I think 2021, the funny thing is the fact that we're not talking about them at all as 2021, to me, tells you PP. 2021 was the year for PPD. They did amazing things, and not to say that other people didn't, but I think that's another one. Three things that I think that we continue to work on. Obviously, the biggest of which we would have loved to have finished more things in 2021 in dealing with Hurricane Sally damages, but obviously FEMA and dealing with all the things that we've dealt with COVID have been more challenging than ever to work through FEMA. We've got everything basically working, and we should have everything up and running. I see David over there by summer of 2022. So all those things that we had Sally damage should be over. So that's a good thing that we are getting to go through. There are a number of other issues that we've continued to keep working on. Some of the stuff downtown that we had wanted to do, and some of our improvements, hashtag Bruce Beach and some of the other things. Hopefully we'll see those come around in 2022. So again, those are certainly things that we're working with. I would have loved not to have a hurricane. I would love not to have a pandemic, but I don't know, John, that I'd necessarily go back and do anything over again. The things we did were because we needed to do them, and I think we're a stronger community because we went through those things. So those are things we're working on. The other thing, if I really had something to do in 2021, one of the things I want to come back to, I really want to work on spirit of collaboration and what we do, trying to work together. I think 2020, unfortunately, tore us apart, probably like no other year. In 2021 wasn't that much better at bringing us together, so I'm hoping in 2022. And I just want to go about some things and think about how we respond to things. We can't control COVID. We can't control Hurricane Sally. I mean, those things happen. The only thing we control is how we respond to them. I'm going to illustrate two things that happened in the last council meeting. I think they tell you all of what it is of how you deal with something, how you take on a challenge, and what you do with it. We had one where we've had a neighborhood who's had some significant challenges coming together. They finally have stepped up, created through much of what we've done, through what Lawrence and his team have done in neighborhoods, and we've created a new neighborhood association, one that has had challenges for a long time, but really is blossoming East Pensacola Heights and coming together and collaboratively. Through difficulties and challenges, they found ways to work together and create a better spirit of collaboration. I think it was illustrated so much by what Councilman Moore did in putting something forward to say, let's begin to figure out how we can do some things to help this continue to do. He did the big project in Lions Park. He's got the other projects that are hopefully going to put some street trees in. I think that is the spirit of collaboration that we would love to see. We would love to see things happen. Other things, we had challenges. We've had things where we haven't had as much manpower to be able to do some things. We've changed some policies and procedures. Certainly, we've allowed people to help us with raking pine straw and getting pine straw out. But rather than figuring out how do we collaboratively reach together and create neighborhood bonds that actually work together, we almost created an ordinance that was going to make it illegal to break pine straw in the city of Pensacola. So, I think that's where you've got to look at two different responses, how we respond. I think when we respond and we come together and we say, how can we work together? It's amazing the things we can lift and the things we can do as a community and what we can overcome. If our first response is to yell at each other and scream at each other and decide we're going to create ordinances, we end up pushing ourselves to the brink of creating some things that are really kind of silly. I mean, when you really think about, we almost created an ordinance that said it would be illegal to break pine straw. So I think these are some of the things that as we go forward, it's my hope in 2022 we really look at ways we can collaborate, because a lot of these challenges we can overcome and we can get through these things. We've taken on some big challenges here at the city, some challenges nobody else has been willing to take on. But that's what we're going to do. So I'll see if Andrew's got a question now. It's a very sparse press corps. So
the change in the parking for in the right-of-way, it was not clear to me what problem this is trying to solve. Are you having people park on the right-of-way now in ways that interfere with the city accessing easements? What was the issue that we were solving on Thursday night with this change? This is what the laying down of the gravel and grandfathering in of the gravel, but not of the parking, right? Not
Gotcha.
the actual use of the
Gotcha.
parking.
What we've had happen in a series of places in East Hill and some other places, we've had people who have taken the right of way and they've either, for landscaping reasons, they've changed and put some things in, or in essence to get additional parking. The one problem that Mrs. Hosteller had, she created an add-on room and had a place where it was sort of an Airbnb, and she created the parking spaces for that Airbnb.
This is on the
It's on the right of way. This is basically in the right of way.
on the side of the road.
Not on the side of the road, between the road and the beginning of her property. In East Hill, we have some incredibly large right of ways. It's really there are only some places, North Hill and East Hill, where we have, and some of the more historic areas that we have these very large ones. East Hill is probably our worst place that we have this issue that goes on. So you have these very large right of ways, and people have used the right of ways to park cars on the right of ways. Now, in all fairness, Ms. Hosteller, she was not jumping the curb, which a lot of people jump the curb and use, which we don't like because it destroys our curb, so we don't allow that. She was not doing that necessarily, but she had put material in. There are all people all over East Hill that have done that. Some of them for parking, some of them just for beautification. They've created, they've put hardened material in the right of way, which is a rule basically that says you're not supposed to do it. And when you get cited, our only choice is to tell you to tear it out. Now it seemed kind of crazy to tell all these people who had fixed up their yard and put all this stuff in there to go tear it out. So what we did was we kind of grandfathered or what's the word that legacied. I forgot that our councilwoman, and I appreciate her discussing the other day. We legacied these things that have been put in over time and allowed them to happen. What we did not allow, and still it is allowable by the council could have allowed it the other day, was to allow for the parking use. I think council's problem is there's a real concern, and I think even Councilwoman Breyer even acknowledged in her area in Scenic Heights that she's very fearful that if this became a reality, you'll have more and more people turning housing into Airbnb stuff. So it really is a double whammy. Two, it creates almost commercial use, temporary, changing out kind of hotel issue that can become problematic in some neighborhoods. And two, it takes things off the housing stock, housing that we desperately need to create some of our issues that we have with housing shortages already. So that was a big concern that was vested of why they did not legacy the use of the parking. So I hope I explained it right.
So if I go to park somewhere in East Hill, am I not allowed to park on the grass? I am allowed to park.
You're not allowed to park on the grass. You can park on the street, but that's strictly in a temporary, usually situation.
Parking on the grass is currently
Illegal.
not allowed.
Correct. Unless if you can make on your own private property, once you get off the right of way, you can create as much different parking space. Some people have, circular driveways. They have driveways with an extra space. If you get on your private property, Andrew, you can do whatever you want to. In the right of way, you can't do that.
So how wide is the right of way?
Oh, it's significant.
There specifically?
Yeah.
I don't know the top of my head.
I mean, it's big enough to put a car in there. So what?
It's
Sure.
8 feet.
10, 15.
20 feet.
Yeah, 10 feet. There are places, Andrew, where we have over 20 feet in East Hill.
Why? So much.
Because that's the way it was designed when they laid it out. I mean, you look at on Blunt Street where that right of way is, especially as you get close to when you get close to that last street between 19th and 20th. I mean, it's significant between where the road is and where it actually starts. If you think about it, Cervantes had that. I mean, Cervantes one time was a 2-lane road. It was able to become 4-lane because we had so much right of way. But that's not atypical of East Hill. I would not say our newer neighborhoods, our Grove Parks, our Scenic Heights, our Woodland Heights areas, those do not have that kind of large right of way. So it is more in these historic areas where we have this problem, and that was kind of the decision that was made. Anything else?
One more. follow up again to lots 4 and 5 at Community Maritime Park. I think your 60 days is. Right.
Correct. We're shooting for the meeting in January, so we still have a little bit of time to work through it. They sent us an offer. Amy, Andrew, and I countered last week and sent them back a counter. We hope to have something back, either a response to our counter or something this week. So we're working through it. I think, it's like everything else. Anytime you start a negotiation, it's usually there's a very wide gap. So now we're trying to narrow that gap in different areas, and we'll see what we're going to have. This is going to be a little bit more interesting. They're going to have the offer they have, and then they're going to have probably some options for the council to look at. If the issue what's driving the council is more money, then they're going to ask that if they could take it up a couple of more stories. I've been very clear that I'm only looking at 6 stories, but if price becomes an issue, they would put that option out there. Council can do whatever they want. There's another option that if council wants more affordable housing, they have an option that will bring the price down so that they can provide some of that. Again, these are going to be issues that council has to look at with price, and they will. But these are strictly options. They'll have an offer, but it probably will have 2 side options that I expect will be that they have presented to us, and I have no problem presenting to council to get their thoughts, because they're things they've talked about. So it's all about what you can do and what can be done out of there. So, but there's going to be an offer that absolutely fits, consistent with the with the terms that are in the zoning conditions that are out there. And I want to be real clear. I think with that option that allows them to pay more, if it goes up, it only goes up like 3 stories. So they're not going 21 stories, but they do have an option that says they can look at additional 3 floors. They would pay more money. Again, that'll be up to the council, but we will be bringing an offer that absolutely looks like that, but they did ask for these 2 other options to be put in there. So we're going to take them to council. So I think this will work through. We'll kind of get to where we are.
And the garage is still part?
Garage is still part of it, a big part of it. We're discussing size because that is a challenge. But right now, I think we have sufficient space to do what we want to do at the park, and so I think we have the ability to
Mayor,
have some things done.
Is Harold Dawson and Emmett Smith still the principals? Have others joined? I've heard a rumor that they've taken on some more equity partners.
That is possible. I don't know. They haven't revealed. Again, we're dealing with the people we've dealt with who we know as Inspired, which is Harold Dawson and Emmett Smith. If they've taken on additional partners, they haven't disclosed that necessarily to us at this point. But again, whether they did or didn't, it wouldn't surprise me necessarily that they did. But that hasn't. I mean, we haven't even asked them. Okay, who is your whole group? We're just trying to get terms that we can finally get something that works together. Is that it? All right. Well, I guess we'll be breaking, but I will say lastly, I really want to thank the staff of the City of Pensacola. They've been working tremendously hard. Lawrence and his team back there, certainly Charlie and his team, Chief Randall and his team, a variety of people that continue to work what we're working through over there on I-110. We will have a plan when we come to see you next. We've been working diligently. David and his team have been putting a lot of hours into this, and we've got something that we think will work and can work to move everybody forward. But we're not kicking anybody out or doing anything more than the time period we've talked about. I've answered questions here before about November. I hear people going on about December. We've been very clear to all of you, those of you who've come here and listened long enough. We've been talking about January for a long time. So we'll look forward to working through that. We're continuing to find solutions for those things. I know we worked to relocate a couple of people after the vote on Thursday. I see Lawrence back there. I know we've been doing some things out there. So again, we continue to work. We've got a plan, and we look forward as we get into the new year working with you and talking about that. But thank you very much, and y'all have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy Holidays, and we'll see you as we come back out of the holiday season.